What's going on, Lakers Nation? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, your ultimate source for all the breaking news, exclusive updates, insider analysis, and everything you need to know about our Los Angeles Lakers. Today, I've got something absolutely massive to discuss with you, something that's been quietly building beneath the surface of what's been an incredible start to our season. I'm talking about a seismic shift in the very foundation of this franchise, a transformation that's happening in real time and could fundamentally alter the course of Lakers history as we know it. Now, before you click away or jump to conclusions, I need you to stay with me through this entire breakdown, because what I'm about to reveal is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about where this team is headed. And trust me, you're going to want to hear every single detail of this analysis before forming your opinion. Let me set the stage here because context is absolutely critical to understanding what's happening right now with our Lakers. We're sitting at 15-4 after that dominant win over the New Orleans Pelicans on Sunday. That's elite territory. That's championship caliber basketball. That's the kind of record that has the entire league taking notice. But here's what makes this record even more remarkable, and this is where the story starts to get really interesting. The Lakers have been thriving, and I mean absolutely thriving, even when one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball hasn't been on the court. I'm talking about games where the team has looked more fluid, more dynamic, more cohesive than we've seen in years. That's not a criticism, that's not disrespect, that's just an objective observation of what the numbers and the eye test are telling us. For the first time in LeBron James' two-decade-long career, something unprecedented is happening. He's not the main man of the franchise he's part of. Let that sink in for a moment. 20 years of being the undisputed alpha, the guy everything runs through, the face of every organization he's touched, and now, at 41 years old, that reality is shifting. The Lakers were flying high in his absence early in the season, posting wins and playing beautiful basketball that had fans and analysts alike wondering about something that would have been unthinkable just a year ago. Where does LeBron James fit in this squad? How does a team integrate one of the greatest players of all time when they've discovered they can win at an elite level without him being the focal point? Now, before anyone accuses me of being reactionary or disrespectful to everything LeBron has accomplished, let me be crystal clear about something. LeBron James can still play at an incredibly high level. Even at 41, even dealing with sciatica issues in his left leg, the King has shown that he can contribute, that he can score, that he can impact winning basketball. Stephen A. Smith, who's had his disagreements with LeBron over the years, recently stated on a podcast that LeBron, even with his physical limitations, can come back and average above 20 points per game. That's not empty praise, that's recognition of the fact that we're talking about one of the most skilled, most intelligent basketball players to ever live. Age hasn't robbed him of his basketball IQ, his court vision, his ability to make the right play at the right time. But here's where the conversation takes a dramatic turn. And this is the part that's going to generate serious debate across Lakers Nation. According to Stephen A. Smith's analysis, if the Lakers organization had a choice, if they were making decisions purely based on what's best for the franchise moving forward, they would trade LeBron James. Now, I know that sounds shocking. I know that sounds almost blasphemous to say out loud. But hear me out on the reasoning, because it's not about disrespecting LeBron's game or his legacy. Smith made it abundantly clear that this isn't about LeBron's ability to play basketball at a high level. This is about age, about timeline, about building for sustained championship contention rather than a short-term window. Let me break down the factors that are driving this conversation, because there are multiple layers to this situation that we need to examine. First and foremost, the Lakers have found their new star, their new cornerstone, their new face of the franchise. Luka Doncic arrived in Los Angeles back in February, in one of the most shocking trades in NBA history. Anthony Davis took a flight to Dallas in exchange, a move that absolutely polarized the basketball world. Nobody saw it coming. The speculation, the rumors, none of it prepared us for the reality of that blockbuster deal. But the dust has settled now, and what we're witnessing is nothing short of spectacular. Luka Doncic, an MVP candidate and legitimately one of the 5 best players on planet Earth, is balling out in front of the purple and gold faithful night after night. Doncic is 26 years old. Let me repeat that because it's crucial to understanding the Lakers' strategic thinking. 26 years old. That means the Lakers have secured a generational talent who's entering his absolute prime, who has at least another decade of elite basketball ahead of him, who can be the centerpiece of this franchise for the next 10 to 12 years. When you have that kind of asset, when you have that kind of timeline, every other decision you make has to be filtered through the lens of maximizing Luka's window. And that's where the LeBron situation becomes complicated, not because of his talent, but because of basic mathematics and the reality of Father Time. Then you've got the 2025-26 season's most surprising breakout star in Austin Reaves. This kid has been absolutely phenomenal, exceeding every expectation, playing like an all-star caliber guard, providing the perfect complement to Luka's game. Reaves is 28 years old, he's in his prime, he's hungry, and he's proving that he belongs in conversations about the league's elite guards. The Luka-Reaves dynamic has been electric to watch, and it's given the Lakers exactly what they needed, a young, dynamic backcourt that can compete with anyone in the Western Conference. And here's the remarkable part that speaks to LeBron's greatness and his basketball intelligence. He's shown that he can coexist with Doncic and Reaves thriving. He hasn't fought for touches. He hasn't created drama. He hasn't demanded to be the focal point. That's a testament to his maturity, his understanding of the game, his willingness to adapt even at this stage of his career. But just because LeBron can play alongside these guys doesn't mean the organization is going to prioritize keeping him in their long-term plans. That might sound harsh, that might sound cold, but this is professional basketball, and franchises have to make decisions based on what gives them the best chance to compete for championships over the longest possible window. Stephen A. Smith articulated this reality perfectly when he said, Luka's 26, and you want some young cats to play, not someone who's 41, and on his way out in the next year too. That's what that's about. It's not because of LeBron's game, it's because of his age. That's the brutal honesty of NBA roster construction. The Lakers aren't questioning whether LeBron can still play. They're questioning whether investing in a 41-year-old player, no matter how great, makes sense when you have a 26-year-old superstar who needs complementary pieces in their prime to maximize his championship window. Let's talk about the load management situation because it's a crucial piece of this puzzle. LeBron sat out that game against the Pelicans for load management, resting his left leg that's been bothering him with sciatica issues. And through the 2025-26 season, the expectation is that James will sit out many more games. That's just the reality of managing a 41-year-old body over the course of an 82-game season plus playoffs. But here's the thing, and this is where the Lakers' thinking becomes really clear. When LeBron sits, the team doesn't just survive, they thrive. They're 15-4 overall, and a significant portion of those wins came with LeBron either limited or completely out of the lineup. That tells you everything you need to know about how this roster is constructed and who the team is really built around. Luka Doncic is the face of this franchise now. That's not speculation. That's not opinion. That's objective reality. Whether LeBron gets traded to another team in the coming weeks or months, or whether he decides to retire as a Laker, that fundamental truth doesn't change one bit. The Lakers have made their choice, they've identified their franchise cornerstone, and everything else is secondary to maximizing Luka's prime years. That's not disrespectful to LeBron, that's just smart basketball management. You don't pass up the opportunity to build around a 26-year-old MVP candidate because you're worried about hurting the feelings of a 41-year-old legend. Now let's talk about what this could mean practically for the Lakers moving forward. If the organization decides to move LeBron, and I'm saying if because nothing is set in stone yet, what kind of return could they realistically expect? LeBron James, even at 41, still has significant trade value. He's a needle mover, a player who can elevate a contending team over the top, a veteran presence who brings championship experience and basketball genius. There are teams around the league who would absolutely be interested in acquiring LeBron for a playoff push, teams who are one piece away from contention and believe that LeBron could be that missing ingredient. The Lakers could potentially package LeBron in a deal that brings back young talent, draft picks, or role players who fit better with Luka's timeline. Imagine if they could flip LeBron for a 25-year-old wing defender and a first-round pick. That's the kind of move that extends your championship window, that gives you assets that align with Doncic's prime, that builds sustainable success rather than chasing one more ring with an aging superstar. From a pure asset management perspective, trading LeBron while he still has value makes infinitely more sense than letting him play out the string and retire, giving you nothing in return. But there's also the human element to consider here, and this is where the conversation gets emotionally complex. LeBron James is a Lakers legend. He brought championship number 17 to Los Angeles. He's given this franchise incredible moments, incredible performances, incredible memories. There's a part of every Lakers fan that wants to see LeBron retire in purple and gold, that wants to honor his contributions, that doesn't want to see him traded away like a disposable asset. That emotional connection is real and valid, and it's going to make any decision regarding LeBron's future incredibly difficult for the front office to navigate. There's also Bronny James to consider in all of this. LeBron's son is in the organization, living out his father's dream of playing alongside him in the NBA. If the Lakers trade LeBron, what happens to Bronny? Does he get moved as well? Does he stay in the organization? How does that family dynamic play into the Lakers' decision-making process? These are legitimate questions that add layers of complexity to an already complicated situation. Here's my honest assessment of where this is all headed. I think the Lakers are absolutely exploring their options when it comes to LeBron James. I think they're having internal conversations about what's best for the franchise long term, about how to maximize Luka Doncic's championship window, about whether keeping LeBron makes strategic sense. But I also think they're being incredibly careful about how they handle the situation because of the optics, because of LeBron's legacy, because of the potential backlash from fans who are emotionally invested in seeing LeBron finish his career as a Laker. My prediction is that we're going to see this play out over the next few months. If LeBron continues to miss games for load management, if the Lakers continue to win at a high level without him, if Luka and Reeves continue developing their chemistry and proving they're the future of this franchise, then I think the Lakers will seriously consider moving LeBron before the trade deadline or in the offseason. They'll frame it as giving LeBron a chance to compete for another championship with a team that's built around him. They'll emphasize that this is about respect for his legacy and wanting him to go out on top, and they'll use the assets they get in return to build around Doncic for the next decade. But if LeBron comes back healthy, if he shows he can still be a significant contributor without dominating the ball, if he embraces a reduced role and becomes the perfect veteran complement to Luka and Reeves, then maybe the Lakers keep him around for one more season and let him retire on his own terms. That scenario is certainly possible, and it would be the feel-good ending that a lot of fans are hoping for. Either way, one thing is absolutely certain. Luka Doncic is the present and future of the Los Angeles Lakers. This is his team now. The decisions being made are about maximizing his prime, about surrounding him with the right pieces, about building a championship contender that can compete for the next decade. LeBron James will always be a Lakers legend. His number will hang in the rafters. His contributions will never be forgotten. But the harsh reality of professional sports is that franchises have to make difficult decisions based on timelines and championship windows, and right now, those factors are pointing toward a future that may not include the king. So here's what I want to know from you, Lakers Nation. How do you feel about this situation? Do you think the Lakers should trade LeBron James to maximize Luka Doncic's championship window? Or do you believe they should let LeBron finish his career in purple and gold, regardless of the basketball implications? What kind of return would you want to see if the Lakers do decide to move him? And how do you think LeBron himself feels about no longer being the face of the franchise? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is exactly the kind of conversation that our community needs to be having right now. And if you're not already subscribed to Lakers News Fan Report, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on those notifications so you never miss a single update. We're bringing you the most comprehensive coverage, the deepest analysis, and the insider information you won't find anywhere else. Share this video with every Lakers fan you know, because this is a conversation that's going to define the next era of Lakers basketball. Smash that like button if you're excited about the Luka Doncic era and what it means for our championship aspirations. I'll see you in the next one. Go, Lakers!